Welcome to this week's edition of the Forward Show. And this week's episode, do not go anywhere because we're going to give you an awesome comparison video of the Canon M50 Mark II and the M200. Both cameras we highly recommend if you're a creator, filmmaker, photography, etc. Or if you just want a camera that's set before your phone. We're going to talk about both of those cameras in quite unique detail, give you nice little reviews on both, why we think you should buy them, and some power tips along the way. So if that sounds interesting to you, like, subscribe to this video now and wait for your absolute value. And as always, I just want to show you one awesome thing.
You're going to get value from this video.
I'm Dave from TVR Creators, and I make weekly content about cameras and lighting and audio and everything to do with content creation. So if that sounds interesting to you, subscribe now. Now, let's crack on with the value. Now, as you can see here, down below, I've got two awesome cameras. This is a live feed, so bear with me. On the left, you've got the Canon M100 or the M200. It's pretty much the same camera. We get some more of that as we go through the show. And on the right, we have the amazing Canon M50 Mark II / Mark I. So why do we love these cameras? These cameras are awesome, and I just want to explain to you a little bit about why I love both of these cameras. So let's talk about the Canon M100 / M200 on the left. Why do I keep saying that? So basically they're the same camera. Excuse me. If you want the Canon M200, which is a brilliant camera, and this is why. So it looks exactly like that. And it's a really nice flip-up screen, as you can see. It is touchscreen, very nice, user-friendly menu, lots of features. You can play around with the camera in every sort of way. Both these cameras are mirrorless cameras, which basically means they have no mirror and they're smaller. That's basically the simple version of that. Now, why do we like this camera on the left? It's really cool. We can get it white and black, and perhaps other colours elsewhere. And we do have links to both of these in the description. Why do I like this camera? So the M100 / 200, I love this camera because it has interchangeable lenses. It actually has the same kit lens usually, unless you bought it as the body only, as the M50. So that gives you a really nice kickstart. And obviously, if you've got other lenses have a similar, has the same connection, etc., you can add them later down the road, which is really nifty if you're a creator or photographer. So if you've got an old lens, like I've got an older 300 lens, you can actually get an adapter which connects to the body, and then you can just attach your old lens to it and off you go. So that could save you money. That's a real cool power tip, and another reason why to future-proof yourself with these sort of cameras. Now, why do I like this camera? I don't know if you can see that on the live feed. It looks like it's frozen. But why I like this, it has a very easy record button, which is very easy to use. It has a little red button. I don't know if you can see that where the strap is on the left there. Underneath that is the record button, which makes it very easy to record video. And what's really cool about this flip screen actually is it flips up towards you. So if you're taking selfies, or as a creator or filmmaker, you're filming yourself, it makes it far more easier to see where you are on the camera, on the shot. And then obviously you can look at the lens. Power tip to look directly at the lens if you can, because that's connected with the audience as a creator. So that's something to bear in mind. It has lots of cool features. Obviously, it doesn't have as many as the M50, but then again, it only, it costs about £100 cheaper. So you're probably thinking, what is the asking price? It's roughly about $400 or $500 for the M200. What is the biggest difference between this and its older brother? I'm going to be brutally honest, there's not a lot of difference. So I'm going to give you a power tip now. If you check out the M100, it's more or less the same, and perhaps you could get it on Marketplace, etc. I have a link to that in the description. And for about 200 or 300, sometimes less than that, you can get it pretty much as new. I was very lucky actually. I actually got this second hand off eBay, and it's been a brilliant camera. I use it for video, a bit of photography. I use it for my thumbnails quite a lot of the time, especially if I'm taking pictures of the M50 or another camera. It's sort of easier. I like it because it's just really light. It's really nifty if you're into photography and you just want a camera that just takes you on a journey journey. It's just easy, it's light, and you know, even in 2022, it's really nice to have a camera that is just separate from your phone, and you can just take it with you. It doesn't feel too bulky, and that's why I love this camera. So if you're basically just sort of starting out, you're sort of, you know, photography is your hobby perhaps, or you want a camera that's, you know, gives really good photos, maybe a bit of video, I would highly recommend the Canon M100 or the M200. If you just want the newest version, go with the M200, and as I said before, we do have a link to that in the description. If you're getting value from this video, don't forget to smash the subscribe button, hit the like button, and don't forget to share this with family and friends. Why? Because we give you value. So why else do I like the Canon M200? I love this camera. I think it's brilliant. I've used it quite a lot recently. Like I said, I had quite often I'll just go do a bit of photography out and about. I might do a bit of filming. I've actually used it just for YouTube videos. If I'll be honest, I just can't be bothered to set up the M50. I just want something quick, or I'm just filming within the studio. I have done that quite a lot. Or if I'm filming outside, I want something a bit smaller. So it's a really good starter camera, if you will, or, you know, if you don't want to spend the earth, that sort of thing. But it does give, and because it has the same lens and, you know, a similar body to the M50, you know, it does give a really nice it gives really nice sharp photos with that 24 megapixel, really nice video, and it really is the camera that you want to check out. We really love this camera for lots of different reasons. And why did I get it in white? It was just the camera that I got, because I got mine second hand. But I tell you what, I just love this camera. It's just so good. I love it. I absolutely love this camera. Now I'm going to talk about the M50 in a moment. Do not go anywhere. We're just going to show you a brief advert. If you would like to help our brand and support the channel, why not check out our merch? We've got t-shirts, we've got mugs, and from time to time we add to the list. So go check it out, link in the description. And also, if you want to support the channel, like and subscribe this video. Alright, hit that subscribe button. Okay, let's talk about the Canon M50 or the M50 Mark II. That's the camera on the right, if you didn't already know. Why do I love this camera? It is still my favourite camera here in 2022, and we love this camera. It's absolutely amazing. For those of you that have been watching my content for a while, you'll know how much I love this camera. Just looking at this camera now, live right next to me, and you're seeing it live now from your televisions, your phones, your tablets, however you're watching this. Put in the comments below actually how you're watching this, because I appreciate most of you are probably watching this on your phone, but just be interested to see where. And why do we love this camera then? So again, it has interchangeable lenses. It is a mirrorless camera, which is really nice. They both have flashes, I forgot to say that. And why do I love the M50? There's lots of reasons why I love this camera. So you have interchangeable lenses, so future-proofs yourself. Again, like on the M100 or the M200, you can get an adapter if you've got an older lens, you know, if you've got a bigger lens, that sort of thing, that you can attach if you so will, so saves yourself a bit of money. For those of you that are keen photographers or just like a viewfinder, the M50 and the M50 Mark II both have viewfinders, which is really cool. It does have a flash. They both have flashes, which is really cool. But also, what's nifty, it has a little sort of attachment clip on the top, so you can actually connect a microphone. And the big difference between these two cameras, they both have internal microphones, but the M50 and the M50 Mark II on the right there both have a mic jack, which is massive if you're a creator or if you just want to film outside. So that basically means, for those of you that don't already know, you can connect a type of microphone to your camera, which is just on the side of the camera. And what's really nifty about that is you can just connect your microphone. If you've got a shotgun mic, which is just like a little microphone, anything from like your fist, maybe a bit bigger, and you can connect it to the top of the camera there, and it massively improves the audio of your video, which is huge if you're, you know, making a YouTube video, if you're doing a film, if you're, I don't know, you're filming your sister's wedding or brother's wedding or whatever, you know. So whatever the scenario is, it just massively improves your video in every way, especially if you're filming outside. So if it's a little bit windy, or especially on a windy day, and as long as you've got a windbreak, which is basically just like a foam, like you see the microphones have on the microphone, that will cut out the wind, and that will just, because 50% of your video is the audio, and that's massively important to think about when recording your video, because, you know, people will, you know, for example, this is not, I'm filming this now on a webcam, and it could be a little bit better, but I just do it because it's easier. But people will let you off a little bit as long as you've got good audio. And we do have this amazing Zoom H1N microphone, which I've been using to record my voice on today's show. And there is a link to that as well, if you're interested, in the description. About £70 or $80 now, which is much cheaper than when I got it, which was way over 100. So that's something to bear in mind. And just briefly, I wasn't following the camera, but I just thought, you know what, let's just throw it in now. What I love about this microphone, it produces really good audio, which is fantastic, and it's really good for recording sounds or voiceovers, or for whatever reason, if you're using the M200 on the left there and you just want a better audio, you could have something like the Zoom H1 microphone, maybe set up secretly closer to where you're talking from, record the audio on that, and then you, if you could be bothered, it's a bit more effort, but the advantages are huge. You can then edit in or dub in, or whatever you want to call it, the audio into your video, which will massively improve. And I actually did that on a film I made a couple of years ago, which did quite improve some of the audio, which was a really big advantage. And that was before I had my Canon M50. Now, why else do I love the Canon M50? It has a very easy to use flip screen, which actually turns to face you or away. It's a touch screen, so it's very user friendly. The main difference between this and the Mark II, it just has a few more features that try to make it a little bit more user friendly, but most people probably even notice. And the little power tip, if I'm brutally honest, if you haven't got the Mark 1, get the Mark 2, because it does have a few more features, a bit more refined, but it's more or less the same camera. But if you want to save yourself 50 or £100 or dollars or euros, or whatever part of the world you're from, then by all means, we also have a link to the Mark 1, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's a brilliant camera. Again, if you want a brilliant camera as a first camera, or perhaps your second camera, the M50 or the M50 Mark 1 or 2 is a brilliant camera. Again, 24 megapixels. I think it's actually, if you want to be really precise, it's 24.1 or something. And what's brilliant about it is it just gives really crisp photos, which is brilliant in any situation: weddings, family holidays, photography, hobby, as a photographer, you know, maybe as a first camera, something like that, as a entry level. You know, you don't want to spend, you know, way over 1,000. Obviously that's like when you get into professional way, but even as a professional, something like an M50 would be a great camera if you just want something a bit smaller as a second camera, or as your main camera, if you just, you know, you want to, you know, improve upon that.
You're going to get value from this video.
So why else do I like the Canon M50? So I would say the big crunch for me is the audio jack, which is absolutely brilliant. It improves the audio, and the video it takes on it, and the kit lens that comes with it, or can come with it if you bought it like that, is a brilliant way. It just takes, I don't know, it just records such good video, and that makes the M50 such a great camera to use as a creator, especially. So I would say, as a creator, the M50 stroke M50 Mark II is the #1 camera in my personal opinion. It's absolutely a brilliant camera, and you can get it now, varies from day to day on Amazon, but you can get it now for about $550, $600, depending on what day of the week it is. Do check that out, and we do have a link to that in the description. So if you're interested in any of these cameras, check out our links in the description. They are all there. And if you've got value from today's video, smash the like button and consider subscribing. So basically, in a nutshell, which camera should you get? Being brutally honest, in the comments below actually, or in the live chat, tell us which ones of these, depending on your situation, would you go with, and why? I would just be interested to know in the comments. But if you want our ultimate goal, I'll be brutally honest, if you want a first camera, you just want to do a bit of photography, maybe a casual bit of video, I would say the M200 stroke M100. If you're a creator or YouTuber and you want something that takes great video and photography, but you obviously want decent sound, then I would definitely go with the M50, so you can attach a microphone, making it easier to edit in post, etc., regardless of what program you use. If you ask us which one, regardless, I would, depending on your situation, regardless, I'd probably go with the M50, but again, it depends on your personal needs. So I hope you found this video interesting and helpful. If you have any questions, please ask us in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them best I can. If I've missed anything or anything you're not quite sure about, please feel free to note in the comments below. I will do an after show where there's cool things I might talk about. But from me, Dave, I just want to say thank you so much. And as always, guys, you guys rock.
You're going to get value from this video.
Alright, so in the after show, I just want to briefly share a few things with you. I love the M100, which was actually the one you saw, the white one, the one on the left. A couple of little things with it. I love the flat. It has a brilliant flip screen, which is fantastic. I personally would say one little niggly thing is to get the SD card out. It appears you sort of have to lift the back screen a little bit for it to pop out. I don't know why that is. It's a little niggly thing, and it's not always obvious, but there is a little button you could press to make the flash pop up. That's something to bear in mind. But as a photo camera, I absolutely love it. If you just want the best of the two, just get the M200. And anything I don't like about the M50, something I forgot to mention actually, the biggest difference between the M50 and its younger brother, the M50 Mark II, is it has clean HDMI, which basically just means it can be used for live streaming. So if you want something with better quality video when streaming, getting the Canon M50 Mark II is definitely something you want to think about. So that's something to throw in there. Anything I don't like about the M50? Not really. I love it. It takes brilliant video in my opinion. Stabilization is fine for what I need, especially if you've got it on a tripod and you're moving it around with a gimbal, whatever. It takes brilliant photos. Even in low light, it does take really good photos, in my opinion. It takes really good photos. Obviously, you can change the lenses, has the audio jack, like I've already said. There's so many reasons to get the M50. It's ridiculous. It's a brilliant camera. And anyway, so if you've got questions or if you're new here to TVR Creators, you can connect with us at TVR Creators over on Twitter and Instagram. If you really want to get connected, we do have a Facebook group page, link to that in the description as well. We do have links in the description of other projects, other bits of tech that we use, like, you know, other cameras we recommend or have used in the past, that sort of thing. So check out the link in the description. We do have a few videos, and there will be 2 end cards at the end of the video that'll be editing in a bit, and they will basically give you more value. They will be about certain cameras, that sort of thing, and it probably has been end cards if you're watching this on the replay, especially a couple of days later, that will pop up, and feel free to check them out if you haven't already. So here on the after show, I just thought I'd share a few things. I am looking at doing a few other things, but won't get into that now. But I just want to say thank you again so much for watching. I just want to say, from me, hand to heart, from Dave at TVR Creators, I want to say thank you again. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and you know what? You guys rock.